Guys, isn't it amazing how quickly time runs? It wasn't so long ago that I was standing in this same exact place telling you guys that we were planning on building a hatchery in this same exact place. We have decided that we're going to put up a hatchery on this property. And you guys were telling me, hey, you shouldn't cut down the trees. Remember, I had plans of cutting down the trees because, you know, they were occupying the space. And you guys told me, hey, don't cut down the trees. So I decided to keep the trees. You guys can see them, you know, the mango trees over there in the background. We kept them. And here, you can see the structure. It's being built, guys. Lots of work has been done. It's really impressive. And I actually love what's been happening currently and what's happening. Let me show you guys around. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Dr. Daniel over here, and if this is your very first time on the channel, come on. This is Farm Up, and in this place, we farm up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash that notification bell. That way you never miss out on an upload. I'm here to help you guys and share my journey about farming, give you guys tips and everything you need to know about farming. So don't forget to subscribe. So take a look at this, guys. Now I know it's quite loud in the background because we've got guys over there trying to do some building. But guys, you can see how much work has been done, how much progress we've had. You can see that this section of the structure has actually been worked on for both the lower floor and the upper floor. And then this other section, this other half of the structure just has the lower section worked on. So these guys are trying to do the roofing or flooring. I'm going to explain that later on, but it's really impressive. So the first big thing we had to do, guys, was to work on the foundation. You guys can see that this is a really big, long structure. This structure is in length. This is 90 meters. And then over here we have 12 meters. This is the width, which is 12 meters. So you can imagine that the foundation is actually quite a big foundation. So we do actually have quite a slope over here. It's hard to appreciate on the camera, the slope, but we have quite a slope over here. So that means that having a structure which is going to be same level, because what happens with chicken structures is that you don't want it to slant at all. Yeah, you don't want a slant in the structure, because if you're going to get a slant in the structure, what's going to happen is that the wood shavings or the litter that you're going to put inside, if you're using deep litter system, is going to slant towards one direction. It's going to, you know, all gravitate towards one area, and then some of the areas will have nothing left. So you want to make sure it's as flat as possible. So keeping this level would have been hard. When I look over here, I can see that we have a drop of about, you know, from the top of the hill, it would probably be a drop of about 2 to 3 meters. And guys, that's too much. That's too much. If you're going to be keeping it the same level, we'd either have to dig too much downwards, or we're going to have to fill it in a lot with a lot of, like, you know, a lot of hardcore and a lot of maram, and that would have been too expensive. So what we decided to do is to do something like this. You guys can see. So this is a drop which is about 1 foot, and we have around 6 of these drops along the length of the house. So what we did is that, you know, for example, this area, we had to fill in quite an amount of maram, bring it in with a tractor and things like that to ensure that, you know, we have it filled in. And then we had to have these step ladder drops. Now, in hindsight, this is probably not the perfect idea, but it's certainly better than having a slope. And number two, it's cheaper than maintaining one level the entire way. Now, having these drops inside is actually going to cause us some problems, but we're going to find a way of solving it in the future. I'm sure you're going to have a way, because I've already thought about it. You guys know that chickens are birds, right? And birds love to fly. Birds naturally love a higher altitude. It doesn't really matter. Well, apart from things like ducks and geese, because they have a problem, you know, jumping and flying up. Well, it depends on which kind of geese. The domestic geese, they never love to climb up, and the ducks. But the rest of birds, they love to be up, and they love to roost and stay up. If you're going to have the same barn, and the barn has two places which are one like this is higher, and then this area which is lower, by all means, trust me, the birds are going to want to stay on the place which is higher. So you're going to have less birds in the place which is lower, and that's going to cause you problems, because you're going to have lots of compacting in the upper space. You're going to have most of the males going to the upper space, because you guys remember, the whole idea is that it's parent stock. We're building a hatchery. So most of the males are going to be up, and any of the females that are going to stay here will probably be giving you unfertilized eggs. So the solution is going to be to separate this structure actually into different flocks, depending on the level at which they are, so that they are separated there. They don't move to another level. That's the only way we're really going to solve this problem. That's how we're going to be successful. And then maybe for the next structure, we probably won't make the same mistake. We're going to try to find a way of making sure that it's as leveled as possible. When you think, you usually always come up with the idea. So you guys can see that the structure has been built with concrete. Most of the work has actually been done. The rest of the work that's being done is actually very, very quick work. Hopefully in the next, 3 weeks, we should have the birds coming in here. 3 or 4 weeks, we should have the birds coming in here. So most of the work that's being left is work that's being done on the upper floor. The biggest work was setting up the concrete pillars and setting up the floor. Guys, it was very expensive. Imagine the amount of cement and sand and, concrete that goes into building this. Imagine how many of these pillars we have. They're all pure concrete, very, very strong. So there are quite a number over here, probably over 60 or more, probably over 100. I'm certainly not sure. I would need to count them, but there are very, very many. And all those needed to be built, and then you need to give them time to set. So it's been quite expensive, but we've found ways of cutting costs. At first, the plan was to have 1 floor, and this would have been 1 floor. But then after some time, we thought about it. Hey, why would we build 1 floor if it's going to be, number 1, cheaper to build 2 floors, number 2, quicker because you save all the time that you would need to build another structure, and number 3, it saves more space if you build, 2 floors, one on top of the other. So we told ourselves, hey, come on, let's push it, let's do 2 floors. And you guys can see that currently we've built 2 floors. We have the lower floor and this upper floor, and you guys can see the material that has been used for building the upper floor. You can see the posts, posts running along the length of the structure, and then on top of that we put timber, and that timber, it's quite strong. It's strong enough, guys, because you see those posts, those are really strong posts. Those are eucalyptus posts. They are thick enough, and in a space of about 1 meter we have 3 of them. So that's really strong. We've used quite a number of those poles, very, very many. So it's been expensive, but it's certainly not as expensive as it would be if we had used concrete for making that floor. Actually, let's just go up to the upper floor and I show you guys exactly what's happening over there. So guys, here we are on the upper floor. You can see it, guys. You can see it. Lots of work going on, right? You can see the floor that I've been talking about. Probably not the most perfect. It's made from timber, and guys, trust me, it's sturdy. I've been walking on top here and you can't feel it shake. It's not like my other chicken house that I built on the other farm. No, certainly not. The other one, when you're moving at the top, you can feel that it's shaking because I probably didn't use enough of the posts to line through. But over here, the spacing is probably 1.5 feet in between every 2 posts running along. So that makes it really, really strong. So when you're walking on top here, you really can't feel anything. You can't feel the shaking. You can see the timber over here. Now, of course, you're going to run into a problem over here because the timber is overlapping. And with this overlapping, it means that on the day of cleaning out, it's going to be really a problem getting the wood shavings out of here because we're not going to put any concrete or anything on top of here. In order to prevent the timber from getting messed, from rotting, or from getting messed, we need to make sure that this stays dry. So we shall keep it as dry as possible. But the wood shavings over time break. So keeping them out of here and trying to clean this out is going to be a mess. But you guys know, like I always say, where there's a will, there is a way. We shall surely figure out a way of cleaning it. You can see that we have a guy at the top over there trying to work on the finishing touches for the roof. So we're going to roof with iron sheets. Basic stuff, yeah? You guys can see the posts. These are eucalyptus posts, really thick. Should be around 20 centimeters in diameter, or something close to that. So that's really, really thick, and that's what's supporting the roof all around. Very many of such posts in the same exact places where we had the concrete posts. So they're going to be supporting our roof. And then on the side here, I think we're going to be using either timber or iron sheets, just like we always do for the rest of the chicken houses. It's going to be as low as possible, as you guys know, maximum 50 centimeters, in order to give us as much aeration as possible, because this place of the country, guys, this place of the country is really hot. So currently you can see it's not shining, it's quite cloudy, but it's around 29-30 degrees Celsius today. So it gets really, really hot over here, and you need as much aeration as possible. So we're going to keep the sides as low as possible, and then for the upper section, as usual, we shall use wire mesh. So like I said, this half has been worked on, the roof is being prepared, we're going to put iron sheets, but the end, at the very end, that side, we don't have it ready. So the guys are just starting to put the timber down on the floor, right on the posts, and then that will get done, you know, probably in a week's time or so, and then we shall make the finishing touches, you know, on the sides, fitting in the iron sheets, the sides. We should be done very, very soon. And here guys, you can see the kinds of posts that we are using. I'm sorry, it's really, really loud, I can't help it. But these are the kinds of posts that we are using over here. So you can see that this one is not skinned. It still has the back on it, which is not a really nice thing. But what we do is that we remove the back, just like, you know, you can see the back over here. So I would just come and peel it off. So there are people who come around and help us to peel off the backs. And once the backs have been peeled off, then the posts can be utilized. They can be put up there, you know, for the structure. So the problem that we usually have with this place is that there's lots of termites, guys. Like I told you guys, lots of anthills all around. I know you guys can see an anthill right here. Very many anthills. There's a really bigger one over there in the distance. So lots of anthills around. So the biggest problem we would have would be with termites. But the advantage is that none of that timber is actually touching the ground, as you guys might see. So down it's concrete and everything. So the termites will just never climb up to reach the timber. So that means that our timber is actually going to last, and our structure is going to last a really, really long time. So hopefully in the next few weeks, probably 3 weeks or maximum a month, we should be done with this structure. The birds should be moving in, and then we can think about starting to put another structure in this exact location. We're going to be spacing them 30 meters in between the two structures. So I know it might be quite loud for the birds while they are in here, that we're going to be building another structure here, but we can't help it. It might affect the production a little bit, but 30 meters is not a small space. And then we're going to make sure that everything, like the concrete making machine and everything, is on the other side of the structure. So it will probably be around 50 meters from this structure to where we shall be constructing from. Hopefully we shall be able, you know, to work with that level of noise. If not, then we shall have no option but to, you know, put some kind of noise barrier in between. We shall make our way around it. Otherwise, thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash that notification bell. Lots of love. Bye bye.